Hi, this is Michelle Goodman and welcome to my YouTube channel, Get Your Bliss. So I wanted to come on here today to talk about being a conscious parent. And I was fortunate enough to be able to see Dr. Shefali Tsabary this weekend. This is her book and I know it's going to show up backwards, but you can get the idea, okay? And her name is Dr. Shefali Tsabary. If you saw my Facebook post, you saw me standing with her as a beautiful Indian woman, and she's one of Oprah's people. So, you know, she's like kind of someone to be watching. I've read both her books and they're amazing. There's another book also called The Awakened Family, and I recommend reading that as well. It's pretty cool. I'm Michelle Goodman, your midweek mindset. What are my top 3 tips to being a conscious parent? So for those of you who have kids, for those of you who, you know, struggle with kids, I mean, sometimes it's hard and, you know, it's definitely a challenge. It can be a challenge sometimes. And so what conscious parenting is really stopping yourself from becoming what your parents may have done to you that wasn't maybe in the best intention or conscious. You know, I think our generations prior to the self-development movement and to all the different things that we're seeing pop up lately is that our parents weren't really aware of their behavior, their actions. They just repeated what their parents did or their grandparents did to their parents, and it just kind of gets handed down in this lineage. And what really I found so fascinating about this concept of conscious parenting is that you really start to awaken your mind. You really start to awaken how you are treating your child, what patterns you're repeating, what habits you're repeating, whether you want to have that in your child's life, whether it's a good match for your child. So all these things are pretty fascinating to me, and I'm constantly trying to learn different things because I feel like it's such a vital role for us. And I use it with my clients, especially because most of my clients happen to be moms and they're struggling. You know, they have the 3 kids at home. They're like making dinner. They're trying to go to work. They're trying to make an impact and also balance trying to raise a good human being. So it's really about kind of changing the patterns, changing the dynamic that you may have grown up with and how you can do that. So one of the first tips that I have, tip number 1, is to be in the present moment, to really be in the present moment and really listen to your kid. Our kids are talking to us all the time, whether it's through the complaint or the I don't want to and and that kind of stuff where, you know, it's hard to penetrate that. It's hard to know exactly what they're saying underneath all the like top layer of muck, you know? So you got to clear the muck away and you got to be like, okay, I'm going to center inside myself and I'm going to really listen to them, like deep listening. What are they really asking for? Do they want your attention? Are they needing reassurance? Are they feeling insecure or feeling scared? You know, so that would be called for reassurance at that time. They need reassurance in that moment and when they're feeling insecure or scared. Or do they want your nurturing? Do they want your attention? Or do they want to have fun with you? Do they want to have play? You know, are they trying to get you to like get out of your workspace or get off your phone and engage with them? So maybe they're asking for connection, or maybe they're needing your direction in where to go in life. Maybe they need to know like, Mom, what should I do? Like with the rest of my life, I'm freaking out. You know, I can't see it. I'm not able to see what I could be. So really listen in on your kids' voice and what they're telling you, not just the words, but how they're feeling underneath of the words. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is giving him or her space to be themselves. This is a big thing Dr. Shefali talks about. I suggest you like maybe YouTuber or something, but she talks about it as an isness. I like to say who they be, like who are they? What kind of being are they? Who do they be in the space of just being? So really connect into that too, you know, like who is your kid? Is your kid someone, you know, I hate the labels that we all have as parents right now. It's terrible. But what are some of the things that make that child, your child, unique. If you have more than one kid, you know, as I do, you know, I have three different personalities. There's three different kids. You know, I have friends who have 4 kids. Each kid has a different personality. So who is that kid? Does that kid show up as someone who's fun? Is that kid show up who's someone who likes to talk a lot? Is that kid who is more introspective and a deep thinker? So really figure out who your kid is so you can start to sort of like respect who they are as a human being and create this relationship that will be more fulfilling for everybody, including you and them. And then the third tip number 3 that I have for you is, oh my gosh, that's gonna be hard. All right, don't be a hypocrite. All right, what I mean by that is, and I know that might trigger some people, and if it does, hit me up in the comments, let me know what triggers you about it, because I'd love to know, but don't be a hypocrite. We are constantly telling our kids to get off their phones, yet we're on our phones all the time, checking your Instagram, checking your Facebook, you know, seeing who's popping up, seeing who's doing what. So you sit there and tell your kid, oh, you shouldn't be playing video games or you're on your phone too much, yet you're doing the same thing. So don't be a hypocrite, okay? If you're gonna start implementing, you know, less screen time, phenomenal, that's great. We do it in our family. But the adults participate in that as well. The phone goes on the counter, the phone in the kitchen, and it's like a timeout. It's time out for everybody. So we can engage, we can look at each other in the eye, we can connect, we can look, we can listen, we can see what's going on for that individual. So that's something that I suggest you try doing. That's like a way to not be a hypocrite, but really think about how you're being hypocritical. You know, if you're telling your kid not to yell all the time, but you're yelling all the time, you're being a hypocrite. So think about the ways that you could not be a hypocrite and show up for your kid in a different way, and or put the same parameters on you. You know, just because you're the parent, it doesn't mean you can't say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna do this for me too, because I've noticed that I've been slacking, or I've been, you know, letting the phone take over my life. You know what, like, let's do it together. And then it becomes a team thing, and then it becomes something you guys can be accountable to each other for. He can be your accountability buddy, or she can be your accountability buddy, and say, hey, you know, call me out when you see me on the phone too much, honey. I would love to be able to keep each other accountable, because, you know, that would create that relationship where you learn to develop trust. And we as moms are examples for our children. We are examples of trust. We are examples of self-care. We are examples of being a hypocrite. So really check yourself. Become a little bit more of a conscious parent. So I hope this helped you. And be sure to head to my website, myempoweredbliss.com. I've got some freebies there for you if you want to check out anything. I have a meditation, which that's one of my biggest tools that I use. And I also have a life story PDF that's kind of fun. All right, so I hope this helped you. This is your midweek mindset, and I can't wait to see you. Have a great week. Make sure to subscribe so you can be the first to know when I have my new videos out every Tuesday, and make sure to comment below so that you can say hello.